Alright, finally, part 2 of the Jiu-Jitsu competition video series. Now, I originally wanted the part 2 to be a huge video with all of our breakdowns and all that stuff, but since there's a lot of footage, a lot of stuff going on, it will be a multi-part series where it won't be all joined in just one big video. This is part 2 where we cover some of the fights. Since I'm right now yapping, I'll just segue into my fight. I'll break that down first, and then other videos will be breakdowns by the other martial geeks who've also competed. Yeah, that's it. Let's go. Alright, now it's time for the breakdown. So this is me in the red belt. And in fact, actually, this is my first proper jiu-jitsu competition I've ever actually done. BJJ or JJIF jiu-jitsu, whatever. I've never done this thing, actually. I'm one of those weirdos who did MMA before they ever did jiu-jitsu. But hey, it is what it is. So let's start. I stepped on the green mats, which I wasn't supposed to. But here we go. Let's see. So I'll pause just so I can clear up my thoughts and talk about what I wanted to do, what I ended up doing, and this and that. So I knew I wanted to play a safe game. If I needed to pull guard, I would pull guard. I didn't want to force anything, just play a good defensive match. And I wanted to be careful with grips and try to avoid those as much as possible in terms of my opponent gripping me and me not being able to fight that off, and then ending up in a huge takedown because these guys more often than not have a really strong judo background. So let's play and see how that actually went. So here we just random grip fighting, setting up stuff. So right away now I knew, as soon as I felt that underhook that he was going for, that he didn't actually grip strongly and properly. You can see in that moment what I just did is I wrapped around his grip right there. So you can see that with his left hand he's pulling my gi, and I'm wrapping his right hand and arm with my left arm, because what I wanted to do was to do the spinning wrist lock thing that I actually made videos on, that I've actually used in rolling sessions. But of course, when you're competing, you tend to make mistakes. So I went for a technique that I actually do know how to execute properly, and still did the same mistake. So watch. Boom. Now, I did technically move him a bit, but I didn't do the proper execution of this technique. And what I screwed up is essentially, when I got the grip, I went back. I essentially sat down. If I do this, if I entangle it, and I can't bring it down, so not this, because I can expose myself, I can screw up, get bad posture. Which you can do if you're wrapping around this hand, which I do have a firm grip, if you can see here. If I was gonna do the technique properly and just spin, I shouldn't have gone down, I should have spun, almost like you would do in a udegaeshi technique. But since I went down and tried to make him go above me, what I should have done is with my right arm, which is now being seated and holding his wrist, I should have gone for a kataguruma motion, which I would do in rolling sessions, but I didn't do it here because reasons. As you can see, like if my right arm was grabbing his leg, I might have gotten a kataguruma variant of this, but I didn't. So as soon as I felt that, oh shit, I don't actually have the control, I tried to throw him over me with my legs, as you can see. But I didn't manage to do it properly because I already screwed up the technique. So we ended up in this weird position where he's in a dominant place. But as you can see, I'm gripping his shoulder and I'm thinking of, okay, I should go back up. And that's one of the mistakes I did as well, because if I was going to go up, I should have been quicker and I shouldn't have just held on onto that grip, because you can see I'm trying to stand up normally, and he literally has my back. And voila, boom, he makes a huge takedown. Now, in this moment, I can see that even though this really isn't a choke, this isn't a good idea to do from side control, but I am squeezing hard. You can see that he's quite animated there. um, but what I'm doing here, as you can see, I am being sort of nasty with my forearm being jammed into his neck, even though I'm not going to choking him out from here or do anything. It is a bit annoying, and he's trying to hold control. But as you can see, what I do, I double up on that before I figure out and make my escape to re-guard. I start pressing against his other artery, just to sort of simulate a choke. And I actually press quite hard. You can see that he does not like it. He's fighting it. So there's usually... I screwed this escape as well. There's usually, if you switch the focus on his arteries and you bridge up like this, you actually can escape the position, but I'm just doing it wrong. And so I don't escape the position. I'm just being sort of annoying at his neck. But he's still in major control over here. But I use that focus on his neck to actually sneakily guard. As you can see, the knee, I ended up with the shin or knee shield, if I'm correct. That's what it's called in English. And I re-guard. So now the referee's watching because I still got that control over the neck, even though really I don't have a choke. But you know, it's competition, it's hectic, stuff can happen, and it is annoying. But I let go of it, and I try to fully re-guard. As you can see, I still have my right leg not in the proper place. So we keep on going, and I finally managed to bring the guard back, and I actually tried to go for... Yeah, I just baited that pendulum thing just so I can actually push that leg. And I'm still fighting, and I'm almost in guard. He almost passes. Still keep fighting. You can see I'm just trying to get back to guard. Or not even back, just get the guard because I didn't get it. So I'm shielding, I'm playing around, trying to be defensive. And here I spin just so I don't want him to get a top position again. And here I go for a cross collar choke that again, I'm doing it wrong. I don't actually have... You can see him thumbs up because I don't really have it. Again, it's annoying. It does play. It does factor in the fight in terms of giving me openings to do some other stuff because it still messes with the opponent. But I'm not gonna finish it anytime soon with that type of technique. And then I try to go to a triangle from that, and of course he notices that. So as you can see, his wrist is just stuck a little bit, but you can't do a triangle unless you have his arm pressed against his own neck and then squeezing. You're not gonna have a triangle. So here I'm trying just to figure out if I can potentially get the arm in, or if I can do any other submission. And I'm feeling at this moment confident because I did manage to get back into guard and threaten him in some ways, especially after that huge takedown. But again, I don't have the triangle. I'm kind of stalling here and just thinking about what I could do. So you can see that I try to maybe do something with the wrist. But again, I don't have the adequate control, and if I just keep it this way, he's gonna escape. So I just let it go there, as you can see. So again, I'm trying to either go back up to the feet or maybe try some sort of bottom attack. But he's pressing on, and at this point, I spin to the side. You can see that I have how my legs are bent around, and he actually passes over my leg over there, which was kind of a mistake because that gave me an opportunity to fish for a kimura. And there we go. Boom. I spin. I almost tap him. That was a deep kimura, but he spun correctly. And at this point, I had barely any strength left from how hard I was gripping when I wanted to spin him, and he was straightening the arm, and I'm really not the best with kimuras. And I couldn't get it to finish. I thought about maybe switching to another arm attack, but I just let it go because I thought, well, there's not much more time, and if I just keep on holding, I'm going to lose strength, and he's going to do something. And now he got back into guard, and we're both stalling here. So, really, in this match, outside of the Kimura, we were talking a bit at that moment. I was like, holy shit, you defended that well. But again, outside of that Kimura, I didn't really do much. So, yeah, I don't. Well, for a first ever gi competition in anything, really, I don't think it was that bad. And it was all in good fun. These guys are awesome. Their gym is awesome. And everything was pretty damn cool and pretty sick experience. And yeah, we'll definitely keep on training. And he got this. Definitely won this match. And that's pretty much it for at least my Waza fight or jiu-jitsu match. And yeah. Alright, that's the part 1 video. I'm editing the rest of them, and stay tuned for those. There were a few more matches, and some really cool stuff happened. So yeah, be on the lookout for those videos. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.